now to look at candidates for mayor. One thing we begin before we start saying this is that the office of mayor is really no different than any other city council office. The mayor has one vote, just like all of the other council members. The mayor does not have a veto power. The mayor must secure the approval of at least 4 other city council members in order to secure passage of anything. So the office of mayor is really the same thing as an office of city council member, with the exception that the mayor presides over the city council meetings. The mayor also has a 2-year term, and after two-year terms, the mayor must step down or run for a city council election. Let's just look at candidates. 3 candidates are running for mayor in Farmington Hills. Jimmy Lossia has raised $945. He's had 18 contributors, and most of his contributors are in the range of $25 to $50. So he has a small campaign chest at the present time. Randy Bruce has received $22,791 in contributions. A total of 122 individuals have contributed to his campaign. Contributors to his campaign, 75% of those individuals live inside Farmington Hills, which means about 25% do not live in Farmington Hills, but a review of their addresses indicates that most live in neighboring cities, Novi, Southfield, Bloomfield Hills, something like that. Most of his contributions are in the $50 to $150 range. Some may, I know Randy contributed to his own campaign. I did note as I looked at source of contributions, Randy's contributors, none of them were listed as being realtors or as developers. So just from the data, and I would encourage you to go to the website. You can look it up yourself and determine. But his contributor base is basically in Farmington Hills, some residents of Farmington Hills. This brings us to Teresa Rich. She is the current mayor, and she's running for re-election. Mayor Rich has thus far raised $130,136. That is a significant level of campaign contributions. She's received it from 528 different contributors. When we look at the source of funding for her campaign, about 25 of her contributors are realtors, developers, engineers, union construction related, something that involved in that particular field. So about 20% of her contribution, dollar amount, 20% of the $130,000, I think it's about $26,000 about, comes from individuals that are looking at land use development within Farmington Hills. 210, or 39% of her donors, live in Farmington Hills, which means that 399, or 61% of Teresa's donors live outside of Farmington Hills. Another interesting fact is that 29, or 6% of her donors live outside of the state of Michigan. Again, we're not in a position to draw any value judgments about this, but we think it's important that you, as voters, understand and know the source of political contributions. We ask you to follow the money so that you be able to look at what are the policy preferences of candidates after they are elected. So I would encourage you to go to the website on your screen. You can go and look up the campaign finance reports of each individual seeking office. You can look at who gave them the money. You can look at the source of the money. You can look at how they're spending the money. And again, I am not making value judgments on this, but you as an educated voter can look at that. I find it, there's some things that I do find interesting, that the mayor has received $130,000 campaign for re-election. That is quite a bit more than anybody else has raised. I don't take a position on that. I just observe that to be a very, very interesting factor. And I also observe that the mayor seems to be the only one who's received a significant proportion of funding from developers, engineers, contractors, labor unions. I make no value judgment on that. That's up for you to make your decision. So again, I would ask you to don't take my word for it. Go to the original sources themselves, and you can print off all of these data sheets, contribution sheets for all of the candidates, because candidates will have to file late reports if they're spending more, so there may be more that will be filed just before or just after the election. Again, this has been I Can See Clearly Now. My name is T.R. Carr. I'm a retired professor of public policy. This particular series of episodes is brought to you by Evaluation Management, LLC. It's my company. I'm not sponsored by anyone at the present time. I have created these series of podcasts and videos to help inform you, to make you an informed voter. If you have any questions, please respond. Thank you much, and have a good day.